Hello, my name is Kim Lawley. Today I will be presenting a discussion on Unit 9, Perspective in Psychology. I'll explore the various ways of understanding human behaviour and mental processes. Here are two key psychology perspectives which incorporate the behaviour of the contraceptive. When someone studies psychology, the person thinks of a role of learning on observable behaviours and studying human and animal activity, for example, monitoring rodents to navigate through a logical maze to get the food. Behavioralism is a different approach of learning from environment factors. It determines how the environment is affected in observable behaviour. This involves the learning of consequences in behaviour. Behaviour studies show that behaviour rejects ideas from free will and that environment is decided all on behaviours. Another example, the speed and how fast people attain language involving including the biological factors. Simple Psychology 2024. Psychodynamic conception is an oversight of psychology and human behaviour which gives value to the role of conscious mind. Early childhood experiences and mutual relationships explain human behaviour. Evaluates and treats mental illness in this approach in psychology, comprises conscious processes and resolves past conflicts and influences on behaviour. Originated with the studies of Sigmund Freud, developed a technique called the occasion, which inquires a patient to relax, report anything that comes to mind, no matter how strange, refers to the mental activity of which we're unable to access. Sigmund Freud states the mind is like an iceberg, mostly hidden. That free occasion would also lead to the patient relieving memories from the unconscious on his experience and his psychiatric practice. Freud 2023. Behavioral processes, the key processes. Stimulus response, classical conditioning, reinforcement and punishment, objective measurements, reducism, logic, and law of effect, constructions. Observed behaviour is primarily concerned in behaviour learning from the environment. For example, conditioning is a major influence on human behaviour. Research is contained and carried out on humans' behaviours, as well as animals, and little difference between the learning techniques. Behaviour of stimulus response, which includes behaviour no matter how response can be reduced from stimulus response to occasion. Method studies, control experiments, Little, Albert, Thorndike, Skinner, Box, Palmas, Dog, Edinburgh, doll study. Strengthens objects, measurements, the peer view, real line applications, behaviour therapies clear, predictions, scientifically tested increased understanding caused by the phobia and attachment. Weaknesses ignores the neutral side of the debate such as the role and genes and cannot fully explain the human behaviour. Psychodynamic processes, the key process. Triple RA personality, personal sexual stages, conscious mind, drive and instinct therapy, defense mechanism, Oedipus electric complex, consumptions, range of behavior and cause of the consciousness of all behavior, cause, reaction, slips of the tongue which may show no free will, known as the psychodomation and intellectual drives, eros and anthos, struggles within different parts of the mind, ego and superego, physiology issues in adults, and how we feel and our behaviour is rooted to our childhood experience, sexual periods. Myth and studies, case studies, little hands, dream analysis, free of occasion, protective tests, clinical reviews, hypnosis. Strengths, using talking is important of childhood personalities, theory, recognition, and some physical symptoms that make physiology cause play, therapy, and a Freud. Weakness, the psychodynamic approach includes the following: does not specifically proven to focus on the past, lack of focus on current issues depending on the therapist's reputation. Behaviour contraceptives. The movement began in 1913 when John B. Watson wrote an article entitled Physiology. It wasn't out on several underlying assumptions proving mythology and behaviour analysis. B. F. Skinner was an influential psychologist, far from his work. Behavioral franchising, studies of conscious behaviour and environment factors, consumptions. Physiology is seen as a science and therefore should be dealt with observant behaviours that generates the empirical data. The environment plays a distinctive role in determining behaviour and as opposite to the physical inner process. All behaviour is learned from environment, and this learning process is similar to the animals. Behaviour should be studied scientifically using experiments. Behaviour is primarily concerned with observable behaviour. Simply Physiology, 2024. Stimulus response. Behaviour prospective, which therapy is whilst naturally stimulus referred to the stimulus response more needs that behaviour is a response to environment stimulus. This theory emphasizes the importance of the environment in shaping and controlling behaviour. Stimulus response theories attempt to begin the ways that humans have been based on their reactions to stimuli. Classic operant conditioning involves association involuntary response and stimulus. Example: dog saliva after tone, because dog food is given. Operant stimuli involves associating a voluntary behaviour and consequences. Reinforcement, punishment shapes volunteering behaviour. The behaviour therapy was shaped and developed by Skinner, and therefore consequences which aren't learnt focusing on the mind. An environment stimulus is repeatedly repaired. The stimulus will eventually alight on a similar response to the natural stimulus. Skinner stated in The Purpose of Psychology to predict, given the stimulus with reaction will take place in the reaction state, stimulus or stimulation or stimulus is caused the reaction. 1913 P11. Behaviour modification. The environment's various setting apply principles of operant conditioning and change of malevolent behaviour, which includes education and therapy. Regional therapy includes thoughts and feelings as extended behaviour influence through the environmental factors. Skinner overworked as influence psychology, education, and therapy in shaping behaviour, arguing that psychology is focused on observing behaviour. Albert's experiments, J.B. Watson conducted an experiment with an in fact demonstrating the emotional response could be conditioned by experience shown which cannot be conditioned as human through situated learning. Wikimedia 2024. Emprise on environmental influence. J.B. Watson stressed the importance of the environment in shaping behaviour and inserting that behaviour could be controlled and protected through manipulation of the environment. Watson laid the concrete foundation for behaviour and influence. Subsequent research on factors, condition, and learning. His franchise on observable behaviour and environment factors and remains concrete of behaviour and psychology. BetterHelp 2024. Limitations. One limit is to behavioural therapists that they learn different ways. Recent scholarship suggests that human development is far more complex than once imagined. Lack of focus on cognitive skills and behaviour model emphasizes observant behaviours and stimuli. Overlooks the development and critical thinking, problem solving, and cognitive skills, which are essential for learning and athletic success. Weaknesses. It ignores the nurturing side of the declares such as the role genes and cannot be fully explained in all human behaviour. Cynthia Vining, PhD 2024. Physiodynamic perspective. Simon Freed believed that the life events of childhood has a great influence on our adult lives, shaping our qualities within our personalities. Personality purpose three ways models of the human mind composed ID ego, the superego, and ID present primal desire and ego balance ID. The reality of the superego presents psychological norms and morals, and the ID ego, the super ego have the most common, have been conceptualized as three essential parts of a human personality. Three establish the psychodynamic approach, highlighting the importance of subconscious mind to behavior. However, this approach is not considered scientific and examines many concepts of therapy should not be tested empirically and instead relies on subject interpretation. The therapist does not account for genetic biology and the social influence and unconscious process. Carl Jung's considers therapy assumptions in psychodynamic therapy. Limitation theories may be affected from treatment for many mental health conditions may be far less effective. For example, post-traumatic stress, obsessive compulsive disorders, drug addictions, psychosis. Simple Physiology 2024. Throughout history, there's been psychology therapists. 1912, whilst on tour of America, Jung criticized views therapy of the Oedipus complex and the franchise of fertility sexuality, which leads to the split of Jung when to develop his vision of psychology therapy. Carl Jung, 1912. Jung's considerous therapy first appeared in 1916. Essay titled The Structure of Subconscious. Jung composed the beneath our subconscious mind. There exists a deeper layer where its collective concept explains universal archetypes on the personality, patterns and structures of which are shaped by all people across cultures. Jung defined a Freudian therapy which the focus more on the personality conscious. Jung believed that the collective conscious is an archetype which more influences shaping personalities and motivation. Jung therapy has helped to broaden the knowledge of humans' minds and to establish the importance of the subconscious in our lives. Mel Klein, 1921, therapy she developed the object relation therapy, which explores how we psychos in relation to important objects around us. Alfred Einstein, 1936, believed that we all have our basic desires and goals to feel acceptance and to be feeling significant. It's developed our first holistic therapy of personality, psychopathic and psychotherapy was connected to the humanic psychology of living. Very well, 2024. Anna Fred, 1936, she pioneered the method of therapy of the child psychoanalysis, which demonstrated that the applications of physiologist therapy could be crucial. Different to children at high risk, she argued children should only be diagnosed when they reach age 6. Eric Erickson, 1958, an ego psychologist who studied with Anna Freud. His therapy of psychosocial development generated interest and research in human development throughout his lifespan, including events of a child age, an adult, and an old age. Role of subconsciousness. ID, which emulates the drive to what's known as in accordance to the pleasure principle, pushes to straighten our own desires. Ego development in years 2 to 4 functions logically striking balance between ID and superego. Imitations, Carl Jung personality therapies that it relies on the heuristic approach and do not apply to individuals who would not believe in a higher power and would not claim the natural of archetype and collective consciousness. Weakness in a physiodynamics approach is included does not significantly proven and is not suitably proven to focus on the past with lack of focus on current issues depending on the therapist's reputation. Tutor to you physiology 2022. Behavior approaches studies visible actions and how we learn through our environments using conditioning methods, while physiodynamics focuses on the internal physiology processes. Behavior zeroes on the external factors and empirical research. Behavior in physiology is focused on observative behavior. Both our current behaviors is defined as by the past experience. Here on hyodynamic, the Suna believed that what will happen to you in the past should stay locked away somewhere in the back of your mind. But it's more powerful. But it is more powerful. But behavior believes that the way you act, the way from your past, through conditional learning. The psychodynamic approach explains personality of terms of consciousness and psychology process, wishes and fears that we're not fully aware and content in childhood experience are crucial in shaping our personalities. Designer Education Fund 2024. The physiology approach that suggests the key to understanding development of observed behavior and external stimuli in the environment, championed by psychologists such as John B. and B. F. Skinner. Through the scientists studied the behavior that it was coped by law of learning to be deprived and now promote the